What's going on, guys? Coach Ian here from Legacy Endurance, helping you run further, faster, and more focused. And today I want to talk to you about probably one of the coolest marathon plans I've ever built. Stick around. Alright guys, so earlier in the year I was approached by Nick Barr to help him prepare for his Boston qualifying marathon. So if you know Nick Barr, you know he's known for being a really badass bodybuilder. He's super jacked, owner of Bear Performance Nutrition, super good guy, ex-ranger. He's got a ton of experience sort of really putting himself through a lot of physical pain. So when he approached me about getting him ready for this marathon, typically he wouldn't be someone I would work with, but I was really excited about the challenge because what we had to deal with was a very short period of time to really get him ready. So we had under 16 weeks to prepare for the Austin Marathon, which he was running at. And so I had a really big challenge. Also, he's a big guy. He doesn't really have a runner's physique. And so what he did have was a willingness to work his guts out. So when I built this program for him, my main intention was to build a marathon training program that can compact down as safe as possible into a 16-week window to get the maximum training benefits and also build out as much speed into the program as possible. Typically, speed is something I build into the plan and really be careful with not to overdo it. And so I had to be very strategic in how I built this out for him because I wanted to make sure that we got all the speed he needed. He needed to get sub 3 hours in his marathon to get a Boston qualifier, which is something he's been chasing. So it was really sort of that tricky balance of finding the right amount of intensity that allows him to work his guts out, but also allows him to recover and be ready to go again. And so it took me a little time to build this, but what ended up happening is Nick ended up getting a 50-minute PB in his marathon, 5-0. So we shaved just under an hour off his previous marathon time using this exact training program. And so I've been asked by quite a few people that were following that, what was the plan? Can I get access to it? How do I want to do the same program, and really it's not an easy program by any stretch, but so I've been working on that for a little while now, and so I've actually put it together and made it available for something that you could take and train and go through the exact 16-week training cycle that Nick went through earlier this year. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a really, really difficult program. You have to be willing to bring your lunchbox and get to work, but if you can actually work through this program, I guarantee you're going to be in one of the best physical conditions you've ever been in. Your speed, your performance in road racing, marathoning is going to be phenomenal. This is something, some of the elements I've built into Nick's plan, I'm using those now with all my athletes. So some really, really cool things. So I wanted to make this available for you. And so I want to tell you a little bit about it. So it's a 16-week training program, as I mentioned. What I did is I designed it into 3 phases, progressively getting harder. So yes, it's difficult starting out of the gate, but it's okay, it's manageable. But over the course of the 16 weeks, the intensity starts to ramp up, the paces start to ramp up, the volume starts to ramp up, ultimately peaking out for this marathon window in 16 weeks. And so that's the first thing. There's 3 phases. I use software called Training Peaks, and that's where I upload all the training, the workouts, all of the analytics, all the information that you get from your training goes right into Training Peaks. And so with this program, you get free access to that. And that's yours to keep even after you finish training. Also have the ability to sort of look in and support you and coach you through that if you need that help. And so you have access to me as a coach. And so Training Peaks is the second thing. There's video tutorials that I give you as well. So things about, really one of the things I had to work with Nick on quite a bit was really dialing in the stride, and where there's pieces of his stride where it was inefficient. And that's a really big key for us as runners, because a lot of us are really trained to work hard and really go hard, but are you training smart? Are you finding the efficiency, especially if you're someone that's trying to build speed into your marathon, get faster in your running? You can get fitter, but you also have to get more efficient, so you don't have to work as hard. So that was something I saw with Nick right off the bat. Was he's got a great stride, but there's little places where he's just losing power. So there's some video tutorials that come with this as well. I'll give you a custom pace chart specifically from where your fitness is at. So regardless of where your fitness is today, you certainly have to be ready to take on a marathon. But depending on what your speed is, I'll custom build you paces for each of the 3 phases so that as you progress through this plan and it gets harder and harder, your fitness starts to develop, your speed starts to develop, and so I'll give you that as well. And then of course, coaching benefits as well, as I'm there for all my athletes. I train athletes all over North America, so if you ever need support, help, I'm only an email away, a text away, that kind of stuff. So for my inner circle people that to take this training on, you'll have access to me as a coach for questions, support along the way. So it's a very, very cool plan. So if you're looking for a really cool challenge this summer where you can really test yourself, take the exact steps that Nick went through, this is a really cool program for you. So I'd really love it if you take advantage of it. It's only going to be up for a little while. I'm only at the end of the summer. I'm taking it down and I'm going to rebuild that. So if you're interested in taking advantage of that, going through that training, do it. I've really designed it so that you get the most training benefit and tried my best to balance off the stress load so that you can really, get up and really take advantage of this. So I wanted to make it available to you. If you're interested in this training, the link is going to be down below in the description. Follow that over. You can grab the program. It's $99 to get in on that. It's Canadian, so if you're in the US, for example, it's even cheaper. So if you're interested in taking advantage of this training, I would encourage you. It's going to be available for just a little bit of time. So again, if it's something that you've got on your mind this year, I encourage you to do it. Go one more. Go get this training, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you inside and supporting you through the 16 weeks of the most intense training you've ever done. So thanks for checking this out. Love to see you inside. We'll talk to you again.